All right, another book review. James Lee Burke, The Neon Rain. This is the first of the Dave Robichaux books. It was was published in 1987. I would imagine it was written before that. I don't imagine that James Lee Burke wrote this a couple years ago, but then he went back in time. But, who knows? According to the New York Times Best Review, this is the reigning champ of nostalgia noir. I read it. I'm actually reading the second book right now, which I normally don't do. I don't normally don't do books back to back, but this I borrowed this from the Jacksonville Public Library. Somebody had mentioned James Lee Burke as a huge inspiration for them and their crime fiction. I thought, I want to read. I want to read the classics, but I want to read the book. I want to read the noir. I want to read the crime. I want to read the stuff that people are inspired by to see if it would inspire me. Did this book inspire me? Yes. I'm trying to figure out how to word this properly. Okay. You like my shirt? It's me and the cats. See, it says the cat father and then my name. Anyway, it's set in New Orleans and around New Orleans. Dave Robichaux is a New Orleans cop who kind of does things his own way. I'm trying to say this to be. I'm trying to say this to be. I love the story, love the writing. It is a very, the main character was in Vietnam, so obviously this is set in we're going to call it the 80s. There's a lot of racist things in this book. I'm just going to say it. So if that bothers you, maybe you don't even buy it. It bothered me reading this. Some of the things, the liberal use of the N-word, basically all kinds. I mean, basically he's not just basically saying things against African Americans. He's basically it seems like every side character, every person on the street in this book is a Negro. That he uses that word about 1 billion times as well. He talks about really racist comments about about Spanish people, about pretty much about everybody. He is just it's not that the characters learn from this. It's just basically conversation. It's just conversation. I don't know where other people grew up, but you didn't really just hang out with people who just say these nasty things all the time. So it kind of took me out of this story a little bit, because listen, I've heard all those words a million times. I get it, okay, but I just think it was just a little bit too much. So that's your warning for this book. I would have given this a 5-star rating, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to give it like a 3.75 because of all of that stuff, because of the racist stuff in this book. Because I think it was just too much. Okay? It's just too much. And so far the second book is the same thing. And I would imagine this entire series, and there's a lot of books in this series. I would imagine we're going to have the same problem. I'm going to read the first 3 books. Okay, the second one I got from the library, but it was from another library system, actually a library system in Arkansas, of all places, randomly. So they got the book in for me, and I have, as I'm doing this, I have like 5 days to finish that of the book. Not a problem. I'm about 2/3 of the way done with it already. It reads well. It's a good story. There's some good characters. There's a lot of, I don't know if you would call it like old timey talk. Like if you didn't know that the main character had been to Vietnam, some of the ways he talks, you would think you're reading a 1950s noir. There's also a lot of, I guess, Louisiana isms in it. I don't know. I'm not from Louisiana. I've been there a few times. He's a lot of times when they're talking to somebody, he says podna, Podna instead of partner, podna. And I guess the main character has a thick Cajun accent. Is what they basically they're leading you to believe. Born and bred in New Orleans and in that area. So for me, it's a good book. I'm going to tell my review of the second book is probably going to be the same basic idea. Is if you had gotten rid of all of the there's a little bit of profanity. I don't care. Profanity doesn't bother me at all. Sexual situations. There's not a lot. There's several sexual situations in it. There are a couple of parts. I mean, again, it's noir. It's a crime thriller. So you're getting into talk of really brutal things that happen to certain prostitutes, hookers. There's strip clubs, there's bars, there's a lot of seedy places, and things happen in those. And maybe they're not happening in the book right then, but there's characters are telling stories about things that happen to them. And so that's kind of it gets a little dark as well. But again, still a good book, a good readable book. It's just I had some problems with it. And I think if you are if you have a problem with that too, don't read this book. And I'm sure there's people that are going to watch this and they're going to go, "Oh, you're being, that person." I'm not being that person. Just my personal taste, and I wanted to warn. Trigger warnings. Everybody likes trigger warnings. I don't. I don't think there should be, but I think reviews. You should read reviews and say, "Oh, this has got stuff that I don't like, that I'm uncomfortable with," and that's fine. I don't think every book should have a trigger warning. I don't think we should slap trigger warnings on everything. Everybody's a little different on what triggers you or doesn't trigger you, whatever. So anyway, there we go. James Lee Burke, The Neon Rain. I enjoyed it. Simon & Schuster put it out. James Lee Burke is a New York Times bestselling author, 2-time winner of the Edgar Award, and the recipient of the Guggenheim Fellowship for Creative Arts in Fiction. He's authored 36 novels and 2 short story collections, and he lives in Montana. Interesting. I guess, see the picture, he's got a cowboy hat on. I guess that means something, right? So, I'm glad I read it. I'm glad I got some inspiration, honestly, some inspiration for do's and don'ts, but also some inspiration for writing some good crime thrillers and how you can write side characters and stuff. He has a lot of really good side characters that you just see very quickly. Either he's killing them off or they're disappear, whatever. And so I think it's a pretty good book. 3.75 stars. There you go. Whew. All right, I need a nap now. If you know of any good noir crime thrillers or just good crime thrillers, and I'm not talking just classics. Like, I want to read the independent stuff. I want to read the new stuff. I want to read newer authors who are doing this, especially if it's set in the South. I'm here in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm a Jersey guy, but I really enjoy books set in Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Texas, Louisiana, any of those. So Memphis, I'll just keep naming really random places. Or we're going to stop this one. I appreciate you hanging out with me. And please subscribe. And let me know what else you want to see from me. All right? I appreciate it.